Hey guys, this is another Beatles fan, and I wasn't even going to record this video, but this is a great opportunity to talk about maybe the biggest Beatle news of the year, one of the biggest for sure. Paul McCartney has got his first Hofner bass back, and this is a really big deal because the first time Paul started playing bass was in 1961 in Hamburg, and because Stuart Sutcliffe, who was the bassist at the time, left the band while the Beatles were there. He fell in love with Astrid, as probably most of you know, and so Paul became the bassist. And he bought a Hofner bass, but it wasn't this one. This is a replica of the 1963 bass that Paul has and he still has. He still plays it. I've seen the bass live in December last year, but the 1961 bass has this pickup here, this metal part, close to the bridge, a little bit to the front, a little bit closer to the neck pickup, and that's the main difference between both of them. And it got stolen in 1972 and nobody knew where it was. And in fact, nobody knew that the bass was stolen in 1972. Most Beatles fans thought it was stolen during the Get Back sessions because that was the last time Paul was seen with the bass. But it was stolen during the Red Rose Speedway era, and there's this guy called Nick Was. He is a Hofner specialist. He had worked on Hofner, in the company, and he researches basically everything you need to know about the violin bass, right? And he started the whole idea of trying to find Paul's lost bass because it's a super important piece of music history, right? This was the bass where Paul played all of the Beatles cavern concerts. This was the bass where the Beatles played all those Hamburg tours, and also the bass that appears on the Beatles' first records, mainly the first singles and the first album, Please Please Me. So yeah, it's the bass that recorded Love Me Do, Please Please Me, Twist and Shout, I Saw Her Standing There. So of course it's super important piece of music history, and it was nowhere to be found, right? And where was it? Well, apparently, this is according to Nick Was, this specialist that started searching for the bass. And you may have heard this story last year because there was a lot of media coverage. But he said that the bass was stolen off of a truck that a roadie from Paul's crew actually parked there. So the roadie parked the truck near his house, but somebody knew that he worked with Paul, and probably somebody saw him coming up with this huge truck, and they broke into the truck and they found the bass and they stole it. And that's the story. And the guy who stole it sold it to a nearby pub owner, if I'm not mistaken. It's a pub owner, and that guy gifted the bass to his son. His son then tragically died in a car accident, and so the father gave the bass to his other son, his second born son, and it stayed there because he didn't play the bass, I think. So it stayed in his house, basically, probably in an attic or whatever. And as I mentioned before, the media coverage started giving shedding some light, right, into Paul's lost bass. The that guy's widow realized that she had a bass in the attic, and it was indeed Paul's bass. So apparently, according to Nick Was, he is a guy that Paul works with the Hofner basses. He works for Paul for a long time, or with Paul. I'm not sure, but he mentioned that the that Paul's really excited about it, and he wants to kind of fix it because it's a little bit broken, it's a little bit messed up. And anyway, that's the story. This story I took from the website from Netherlands called The Bassists. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it's by a guy called I can't find his name here. Okay, Chris Dekker, the editor from the Bassist magazine, The Netherlands. Okay, that's where I found the story, and I honestly really recommend you go check it out, check the story out, the article, because it's incredible. And that's it. It's a huge part of Beatles history that kind of got a closure, right? To be honest, I'd known for a long time that Paul had a lost bass, that the Hofner 61 bass was lost. And I figured that it was either in the hands of a huge music collector, a huge collector that wouldn't want to mention he was with Paul's bass because, of course, it was stolen, right? Or maybe I figured it had been destroyed, right? Maybe I thought the burglar didn't know what he had. Maybe he didn't know it was an instrument of such value. Maybe he thought it was just a random roadie truck, but that's not the case. The thing is, apparently the bass is fine. Apparently everything that's wrong with it is fixable. So what now for the future? Well, I hope that maybe Paul releases a video showing the bass and playing with it and talking a little bit about it. I think all of us Beatles fans would really appreciate that. So Paul, if you're watching this, do that, okay? And also there's some comment about Paul's next album, that it's going to be produced by, oh man, I forget his name now, but it's the guy who produced some of Dua Lipa's songs, and I hope it gets used, maybe in 1 or 2 songs, and in a video clip. It should be a lot of fun to see that. Anyway guys, that's it. I always say the video is gonna be short, but it ends up too long. But that's it, man. See you next time. What do you think about the Hofner bass being found? Please let me know down below. Now I'm gonna sleep because I'm kinda tired. See you later.